Good afternoon, everyone. Today is December 16th. Welcome to Connor Homestead. It is a gorgeous day. It is 68 degrees here in central Arkansas, zone 8A, and I am taking a walk over to check out the pond. We've been getting a lot of rain. Creeks got a lot of water. The small pond that was already here on the property has, it's pretty murky, but we had this pond dug right here, and I love coming out here feeding the fish. They're very active, but they haven't been lately, and I think it's because the winter and the catfish just aren't coming up to feed. But now that we've had some warmer temps, I want to see how active they're going to be out here. Just saw a turtle, and let's get our fish food open. A little handful. See what we see. So I know the bluegill had started getting more active now that the catfish had been less active. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah. They're getting some nice size. Oh, look at those bluegill. I was told in one of my groups that had I been feeding the fish every day, they would be fishable by now. Yeah, these bluegill are active. And fast. And hungry. Here come the catfish. Here come those catfish. Yeah, okay, so the warmer temps, pretty good. Yes, catfish coming back. Yeah, okay, here are my catfish. They like to swarm. I'm glad we've got these warmer temps, because I am going to come out here and get to feeding them more often, daily if I can, so we can fatten them up for the spring fishing. Now that I'm on break, I can be more attentive. The semester just ended. Final grades were due in today. I got mine all turned in. And this is a treat for me. To focus on some of the things that I've been a little bit more negligent on. So our hydroponic lettuce, our kitchen hydroponic garden, I want to be doing more succession planting. So I've got our lettuce going. They're nice at 2 weeks, and then the goal for the lettuce is to do it every 3 weeks to get seeds started. Hey, I missed you guys. I missed you. I was gone for the weekend, deer hunting for the first time. I bagged 2 deer, a doe and a buck, and I harvested them, I processed them, I butchered them, processed the cuts, all of that through a wonderful program through Arkansas Game and Fish called Becoming an Outdoorswoman Arkansas. And I really recommend that program, that you check it in your own state. I think it's also, I know it's also in about 13 other states, including Louisiana and Illinois. But they have great programs like that. So I'm going to stop recording so I can just really enjoy and be in the moment. I also wanted to stop in and do a greenhouse check-in. So for the winter, we're not going to be growing anything in the greenhouse. Just the fruit trees will remain in here, but we want to clear out the garden beds of the soil that gave us so many problems during the summer. It had a lot of seeds in it that we didn't know, for a lot of weeds. We put crepe myrtle limbs in here to help fill the beds, and then they weren't dead enough. And so then the crepe myrtle started coming up through here too, causing a lot of weed and pest issues because aphids seem to really adore those crepe myrtle. So we're going to come through here. We are going to clear out all of the soil in all 3 rows of beds, and yeah, we're just going to dump it and burn it. And then we're going to start with fresh raised bed soil, good quality soil. Just take our time over the winter and fill up these beds. The trees are going into dormancy. I just came in here just to give them some water for some of the things in here. The aloe is still doing pretty well, but some of these, like this is my satsuma that this is my kumquat. My satsuma didn't make it. Again, just, you know, I really spread myself pretty thin this grow season. And I want to take the winter to do a reset in here with the garden beds. We're also going to pull out all the irrigation lines, the vertical irrigation lines coming down this way. We just had an issue. They were inconsistent with the emitters here. So I've tried to troubleshoot. My plumber even came to try to troubleshoot, and we just couldn't figure it out. We had good water flow, but once it got to the individual emitters, I don't know if I have too many. So I'm starting over with the 3 vertical lines that go through the beds. So I'm going to yank those out. I'm interested in looking at getting a chip drop because I would like our walkways to be wood chips. We were also getting like weeds and stuff coming up through the weed barrier. So I think if we get some layers, some nice thick layers of wood chips, that will help suppress the weed in the walkways. And I got to do some cleaning up. It's just junky. It's a mess over here. When you're doing things in the season, you're just kind of grabbing and putting whatever. These tables, I've tried to kind of shim them to make them somewhat level, but they are not. And so just being more intentional about that and just straightening up all of our workstation stuff. Tiffany's really good at that. And so we'll get in here and get it together. And getting maybe a more consistent, this was kind of a zigzag offset pattern for the trees here. Maybe just focusing, letting the trees stay here and everything else that we kind of threw in at the last minute, moving it because it gets really crowded. When these trees are flush with leaves, and then we've got like the trellis with the cucumbers and the tomatoes, they all kind of, you know, sort of got together to make it difficult to walk through that walkway. So now that we have a better idea of that, we'll know what to do. So those are our winter plans. Oh, the biggest thing is, you know, when we got these doors built, because rolling up and rolling down that plastic, I mean, it was a bit, and we wanted more airflow. But now that we're in the winter, we're mid-December, December 16th today, we want a way to be able to put plastic on here and be able to take it off. So we came up with the idea. At first I thought like magnetic tape, but magnetic tape is really expensive, and these doors are really tall, 10 feet tall, and this is 16 feet wide, about. So that amount of magnetic tape was going to be like $500. And what Yolanda at Wild and Free Family Farm suggested, I don't know why I didn't think about it, is Velcro tape. And that amount of Velcro tape is only like $56. So that is the project that we're going to do. We're going to put Velcro tape around here and Velcro tape around some of the leftover greenhouse plastic that we have. And we are going to Velcro the plastic on here, which will also allow us to take it off if it's a warm day like this, like it's almost 70 degrees today. Then we would be able to take that Velcro tape off. And now that I'm even looking at it, I'm thinking I might maybe do around here, that frame, and around the lower frame. So do a top and lower frame for each one of the doors, and that way maybe we can even just say, okay, today for airflow we're just going to take off the top frame. So that would give us kind of 4 quadrants to work in, and then I'd probably just leave it up in the back. So that is going to be winter on the homestead. So this is kind of a little sweet. I'm walking back up to the house from the greenhouse, and I spot this caution tape, and it's blown out here. This was caution tape because we had to put it around an area of our deck because it was no longer safe to walk on. And so I'm just thinking about how it wasn't too long ago this deck was falling apart and we got it completely rebuilt and redesigned, and I'm so happy. So this gazebo area, which the area existed but it wasn't a gazebo in the previous deck, and now it's a gazebo and everything is strong. I mean, we got it completely demolished and rebuilt, and so it's super exciting to see it and what we've been able to accomplish on the homestead. It's been exactly 4 years to the month that we've been here, and what we've been able to accomplish in those 4 years. This deck rebuild, there was a tree, we got taken down there. Our cattle panel trellis that was loaded with loofah that we're making into sponges for the holiday. Shady pines over there, Mom's cottage. And of course, you know, the high tunnel greenhouse and the pond. All of those things are additions that we brought to the homestead, that we built in these past 4 years. We've done a lot. We have a lot more that we're working on. Our 501c3 nonprofit, Rooted Earth Arts and Learning with Wild and Free Family Farm. We filed for that 501c3 status. That usually takes months. So we wanted to get that going. And so, because we want to be able to share this space with people, especially people who are marginalized by institutions, and to get folks out here, to get Black folk out here, Black women in particular, Black queer women especially, and show them some of the skills that we're learning. And you don't have to have a 15-acre homestead to enact some of these practices and a self-sustainable lifestyle. We have small space practices and options like our hydroponics that we're working on indoors, and you don't have to buy a pricey, expensive hydroponic system. You can make your own, oftentimes from materials that you have at home. So this is how we started out. This is how we started out. I started researching hydroponics while I still lived in Chicago, and I was preparing to move down here. And I was sad that I wouldn't be able to have my garden in Chicago, and I said, well, you know what? Let me research some other options. And so I spent that time learning all about hydroponics and DIY hydroponics. And that's what we invested in when we first moved down to Arkansas, because we didn't have the homestead. for our first 2 years living here. We were renting a house, and we were doing a lot of indoor hydroponics. I've said enough. We fed the fish. We've been in the greenhouse, and yeah, we're getting new furniture for deck. We're calling it the fellowship deck because this is where a lot of great conversations and fellowship is going to happen with friends, family, and those of you all who will be invited to come to the homestead for fellowship and retreat and helping out and participating in and learning new skills that you can take to your own spaces. Yay for the fellowship deck.